Are you ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life-hackful show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello and welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. I am so pleased to be back. I've actually been away for a little while, as you know. And I've been to India. Well, I was in England and then India. I've been quite a few places in the last month. And wow, what an experience. I'm going to share a little bit about it. But welcome to the show. So glad you're here. Thank you for taking your very precious time to spend with us today. I'm excited to introduce you again to the amazing Larry Michel. He's the founder of Genetic Energetics, and he has a program, a report system that will help you understand yourself and all the people that you love. And there's going to be a free link for you to be able to run your own report on yourself. So stay tuned. Stay tuned to the end too for Mantra Magic and the meditation moment. It's going to be amazing. And it's a hack. It's a life hack full show. It's kind of a mouthful, that one. Life hack full show. Little tips, nuggets on how to make life just even more joyful and a little easier to handle and navigate. So thank you for being here. So about India. So I've been away and I was on basically a silent retreat in India with 350 people around the world. And what a blessing it was to be there at ECM. ECM is the World Center for Enlightenment. If anybody wants to know more about it, please reach out on social at Amy Joy Coaching on Instagram or Facebook. I would love to know you. I would love to know what you're about. And if you want to talk more about ECM and enlightenment and raising your frequency and all those things, I am all about it. So thankful. Which brings us to Change Your State, Elevate. So today I want to talk about what I'm grateful for, and then you're going to have a chance to think about what you're grateful for, because gratitude is the rocket ship to joy. It's the fastest way out of suffering. And you can't be angry, sad, upset in any way if you're in a state of gratitude. So I am super grateful for an amazing serendipitous thing that happened. I was in England and I've always wanted a tattoo. I've been looking for basically a couple of years. I want to get a dragonfly. And as you know, we had Wendy Jensen on and she talked about the magic of dragonfly. So look up her episode. I forget the number, but Wendy Jensen. And they're fierce. They're fierce creatures. They literally they start as water nymphs and then they defy all the odds and turn into from a water nymph to an air bug, I guess. And all four of their wings are independent. They're the best flyers out there. And they're epic. And I'm all about learning how to flow. So dragonflies remind me of that. And they also represent transformation, which is what this show's about, what I'm about, and why I do what I do. And then the lotus is the same. The lotus flower, it comes out of the mud every morning, fights through the mud, and comes out this beautiful, beautiful thing. And then it goes back down into the mud. It's gorgeous. And in India, I freaked out because I rounded this corner and here is a pond. It's massive. It's like a football field. Well, maybe not. I'm maybe exaggerating, but it's like a basketball court, huge, or even bigger than that, of just water lilies and lotuses. No, I could have sat there all day and watched them. And then the flower of life is amazing. It represents that we're all connected. So I got my very first tattoo, and I called it in from the divine. I said, the divine's going to deliver me a tattoo artist that gets what I'm about. And it sure did. And so a beautiful girl named Caitlin, she's on Strawberry Stabs on Instagram. She literally was delivered to my door. And so I wore this shirt so you can see. So this, I think you can see. So this is it. And she did an amazing job. And it's my first real tattoo. I've got a little one here. But she's amazing, super light-handed. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I have it. It's done. Happened, past tense. And so what are you grateful for today? I want you to take a minute to just breathe in. Another big breath. And ask yourself, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? It's one of the best questions you can ever ask yourself. I would put it on Post-it notes all over my house. I have, to reprogram and to get that beautiful question on speed dial, so to speak. What are you thankful for? Write it down, share it. And if you're here on Facebook and you can interact, please let me know what you're thankful for. All right, so I'm super excited to introduce our guest of the week and to get our shit together. So I'm very excited to have the incredible Larry Michel with us today. He is the founder of the Institute of Genetic Energetics. He is a relationship restoration coach, speaker, producer, and author. He is a steward for a revolutionary science which delivers an understanding of the impact and expanse of our energetic relationships, helping people break free of stories and to experience all the benefits of courageous intimacy. He is also one of my dearest friends, and he actually flew down. He's here in Kabul right now helping me get Upaya, which is my retreat center, going. We're starting next week for the season, and he's volunteered his time and energy to help get that going. So put your hands together, put a lot of love in the chat for the amazing Larry Michel. Welcome.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So happy to have
Hi.
you. Hi. So I'm going to give you a minute with the audience so that they can get to know you really well, or at least better than what they know now. And then we'll start the interview and we'll talk about your amazing genetic energetics.
No tattoos.
No tattoos. Well, you had a chance You had
I
a
did.
chance.
I did.
All right.
I think the great thing about tattoos is that you waited till you really saw and knew what you wanted, and then you went for it. And yeah, I think that's incredible because it's probably one of the reasons why I don't have one, is that I'm not sure exactly what I'd want to put on permanently. But I just have such appreciation. And you did it without screaming or crying or anything. It was incredible. So, hi, everyone. Uh, it's so good to be here. I love the gratitude moment that Amy brought up. There's a piece about gratitude I learned a number of years ago that took it up a step for me because I used to go, yeah, I'm grateful for my friends and I'm grateful for my dog and I'm grateful for a roof over my head. And there's tons of things to be grateful for. But what I realized is to take a pause after you pick what you're grateful for and embody it, like allow your whole body to feel that gratitude. When I started doing that, things changed. It was no longer just a statement. It was a certainty, and it was embodied. So there's the invitation about that. And Amy, I think you asked me to take a second and talk about what I do. Yes.
Yes, please. Just tell them who
and
is
I
Larry
just and
Michael.
I just segued off, right?
That's all right. That's all right. Who is Larry Michael? Let everybody know.
Oh gosh, I'm a rabble rouser, but I'm a seeker. I'm a seeker. Ultimately, if there's any way that I would love to be known, is um, I'm passionate about love. My my playa name, my Burning Man playa name is Love Shepherd, and it really is my dharma path. But ultimately, I'm a seeker. I'm just curious all the time and love to approach life like a child. And it's what brought me to the work I'm doing now. It's what has me immersed in genetic energetics. It is what has me constantly looking for ways to find joy and stay out of conclusion and judgment.
I love that. I love that. Judgment. Judgment is such a joy killer. And ah, we have to learn. We have to learn that it's useless time and energy.
Yeah,
So,
and we're conditioned for it, right? We're conditioned to judge all the time, and
oh,
so
absolutely.
it's a real habit changer to enter into the discipline of inquiry and like leave judgment elsewhere.
Exactly. So tell us all what you do every day to help people.
Wow.
What is genetic energetics?
Okay. That was kind of two different questions. Um, and
Well,
not. Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. I get it.
So,
So
so let's
genetic,
stop the bus
I
here
get
for a second. So this is a perfect example, everyone, of him being structural and me being figurative. So I want you to know that episode 43 is part one. This is part two. Okay. So we're going to do a brief review of part one so we can catch everybody up. But I want you to know there's another whole episode, episode 43. Go to Trajectory Channel on e360tv.com and you can find episode 43 there. So he's structural, I'm figurative. And so he takes everything that I say almost basically pretty much to the definition of the word. Okay. I am figurative, which means I do not do that. And I'm more about emoting, and it's just about the general feel of what I'm saying. And he understands that, but he forgets sometimes that I'm figurative. And I sometimes forget that he's structural. And so this is a really good example of getting clarity and that nobody's being bad or wrong. We're just different. And here's the thing, guys, half of the planet is different than you. There's only two ways, figurative or structural. Of course, there's, levels of that, right? But anyways, tell us a little bit more because this is perfect example.
that is so great. I think you should talk about genetic energetics, and I'll move over and do the show.
Oh,
Let's switch. No,
I
no,
have
that
to
was
get
really
out
good.
on it because it's life changing. It's
It
life.
is really great. All right, so here it is in a nutshell. All of us have energetic frequencies that we vibrate at. And we have forever. Mankind has always done this, and they're genetically coded. So they're kind of like our blood type. They never change. It's different than the energy that you may think about, where you hear people say everything is energy and energy moves and shifts. These frequencies are literally like our blood type, which is super important to know. And as an analogy, I say that because look, if you were going to go get have surgery and you had to have a transfusion, how valuable or critical would it be to know your blood type? Pretty important, right? Like life or death. So for as long as mankind have been on this planet, we've had these energetic frequencies that either align and harmonize, or they're discordant and they combat with each other. And that doesn't mean that if they're different, that you're in like a horrible state, or it's a challenging situation beyond all possibility. Doesn't mean that at all. It just means we're different. And and Amy and I have such a fun time because she's figurative. I'm structural. And what that means is I pick words, I hear words, and I respond to them almost as if I consulted Webster's dictionary first, right? But not everybody speaks that way. A lot of people are really more emotive, and it's kind of a stream of thoughts that come out. So I have to listen for words differently. But it's not my natural way of doing it. My natural way is take words and use them to kind of build a wall so I understand what someone's saying, because I don't want to misunderstand anybody ever. It's like no fun to be misunderstood. And it's no fun to also be labeled, like for being someone who never listens or never pays an attention, or you don't love me anymore, or you must not care because you didn't hear what I said. None of that is pleasant by any means, right? So, and that's what happens sometimes when communication styles are different. And in genetic energetics in episode 43, because if we do this, if I keep going at this speed, we'll do a 43 all over again. So
I
I'm
know,
gonna
exactly.
I'm gonna I'm gonna fast track a few things. There's 4 lifestyle traits. The first one is communication style, which we've been just talking about. The second one is activity level. It's the speed we run our lives. It's how we process information. And I mean, you have friends literally that you start talking and they finish your sentence because they know what you're going to say. They're what we call super active, and they go, 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 go. And unfortunately, a lot of people will accuse them of being ADD or ADHD, which is no bueno. It's not good. But that's the speed they move. And some of us are really fast and some of us are slow. So if I was super active, I'd be talking at the speed, saying everything I need to say, and you'd have everything about the first episode 43 in about 2.5 minutes, right? Oh, that kind of even hurts my jaw. But
Well, the
because,
reason it hurts his jaw is he's moderate, right? And I'm
right?
also moderate. So I'm going, please slow down. Oh my God, slow down, right? But for a
Right.
super active person, they're like, ah, okay, someone's talking my language at my speed. It's like medicine, it's like salve over a sore. It's like, okay, here we go. Let's get it done, right?
And
So
it's so crazy obvious sometimes. Like I've been on a Zoom call with 100 people, and I'll use that example, and all the people are super active that were just kind of, they all go, and they wake up, and I'm going, oh my God, they weren't, I was like not talking to them. And in that moment, I know that if I want to reach people, that I don't have a chance to profile everyone. And so I have to kind of change up a little bit to meet people where they're at, instead of expecting people to meet me as I am all the time, because we
ooh,
are diverse. We're diverse.
that's huge.
and and this is an opportunity to see that diversity, and instead of blame or shame or feel guilt or resentment or be angry or judge, get rid of all that, all of it. It's just gone, right? You get rid of all of it, because instead you get to acknowledge and honor and appreciate and even accommodate and truly be in a place of love. So it just puts us in square in the present. So communication style, structural, figurative, no, moderate active, super active, normal, moderate active. Then we have financial logic, and there's 2 kinds. There's people that we call rainmakers, and they literally do. That's like money just drops out of the sky for them. And then there's people that are conservative financial logic, which is me. And I like, I could look at ledgers and manage money really easily. And my non-conservative friends would go, "Ooh, what? Why do you want to do that? I mean, that." And it's like, and it's not that I love it, but it's easy, and it's just kind of genetically built in. but abundance is another challenge. So for someone who's non-conservative, Amy Joy, right? Abundance, it just shows up. It shows up. She could be totally out of money, and someone immediately will call her up and say, "Hey, you know what? I just met someone that wants to give someone $100,000 to do something spectacular, and would you be interested?" You know, and it would be, well, of course, you know, and I'd be going, "Oh, you gotta be kidding," right? So for me to bring in money, I have to think about the value that I give the world. What's the contribution beyond just a bigger pocketbook or beyond just a prettier, more expensive car? It's like, what's the real value? And then everything changes. So that's money. And then the last one of the four lifestyle traits is called sexual response type. And this is one that is the biggest stumbler for a lot of people because the differences are big and how we accommodate for the differences are pretty unknown, meaning that they've been around a long time, but there haven't been a lot of people that really are offering the deeper understanding of what's going on at an energetic level. So there's two types. One's called mental emotional, and for us, that's me. The prelude to sexual intimacy is so important. Like, I can have a quickie, but it would never sustain me. I need to feel it. I come from my head and my heart. Now, that's not the typical belief out there. Most of the teachers that we're all aware of will say that's a feminine trait, that all women source from their head and their heart and then move down from there. And all men source from, you know where, right? And then it moves up. It's like, give me this, give me the physical part, and then you get to my heart. I'm just going to, can I say bullshit? Oh, I just said bullshit. I guess I can. Sorry. Um, sounds like you blipped me out.
It's in the
It's
name
just
of
not
the show, so you're good. Sorry, I had my.
okay. so, so the reality is that half the men on this planet really source from their head and their heart, and romance and the prelude to sexual intimacy is critically important for them. And half the women, that's true, but the other half of the men and women, they're called, and that's mental emotional, the other part are called physical. And the physical sexual response type, their sexual energy is held inside. It's held inside for the person that kind of has the key to the lock and go and open the door, and then they go and they come out, right? And that kundalini energy starts to move, and they move together, and it's beautiful. So what happens when they're different? It takes work. And mostly, most important, this is the most important thing, is to be aware of it. Like our statistics about the success of relationships, I don't even want to say them because it's devastating, but it changes radically as soon as you're aware, right? Again, back to blood type. You go to get an operation, you don't know your blood type, you got to know. So this one is awareness, and once you know it, then there are things that we can do. We can show up to help one person move that sexual energy where the other is not. And the physical sexual response type person, that energy is all held inside. Mental emotional is all on the surface. And men and women out there, you know about it because you get misunderstood all the time just because you're curious. You show curiosity and someone thinks you're flirting with them. And you go, whoa, wait. I was just like, I didn't want to take you to bed. I just wanted to know who you were. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, what, you start buttoning up your collar, putting on layers of clothing. Doesn't make any difference. The sexual energy, when it's out on the surface, is just available all the time. And so those are the four lifestyle traits. Episode 43 went into them in detail. And then there's this thing called chemistry. And Amy, I can't remember. Did we go very deeply into chemistry? I don't
We
think we
didn't.
did.
So yeah, we need to do that and the
And the
modifiers.
modifiers. Okay.
Yeah.
Chemistry.
About 20.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So I got to talk a little faster. Well, we'll talk for the super active people, and the other people have to catch up. So here's the deal with chemistry. Chemistry, we all know it. That's attractions. That's that moment that we meet someone, and it's all of a sudden, oh gosh, oh my God, I can't think of anybody else. Oh, I've known her for 15 minutes, and I want to go out and shop for her and buy her flowers and roses and rings and things, right? and you feel it in your body because you have these brain chemicals, these neurotransmitters, oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, vasopressin, PEA, all of these things in our bodies are just alive with chemistry. And a lot of people think I gotta have chemistry. If I don't have chemistry, forget about it. Right? It's like I hear that all the time. So that works for half the people because they have what we call true attractions. True attractions means that chemistry shows up with someone that has the same communication style. And then the other half have false attractions, and that means that chemistry shows up when you're with someone that's a different communication style. And we already know that that's a little bit more work, but sometimes it's a lot more work, right? And so I'm going to just take a quick segue because this whole thing is a typology, and this just brings up something that I think is really critically important for all of us. Everyone shows up in our life for a reason and a purpose, and they show up when they're supposed to, as they're supposed to. Sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's for a day, and sometimes it's a lifetime. And not all those people are going to be exactly the same as us. In fact, sometimes they're very, very different. And the result is magnificent things are created. But
Yes.
we have to navigate our differences to get there. We have to appreciate and embrace our differences to get there. So this typology is to help us do that. It's not here so you can go, oh, look, your structural talking style. You know, we don't want that, right? But knowing that difference, like Amy and I knowing that difference when we talk, it's kind of funny sometimes. I mean, it's not a problem. It doesn't become a point the finger, you're not listening. It doesn't become some kind of resentment or blame. Instead, it's just embracing differences. And how much better is that? So
So much
when it
better.
comes to so much better. Oh my God, yes.
Of the planet is different than you. So imagine you know French and you're talking to someone who's Chinese and you have a common language of English and you don't speak English. You just keep speaking French to that person and they don't understand. It's not
Oh my God.
kind. And we should learn the other way of being because half of the plan is that other way. We should learn that other language. I'm in Mexico, I'm learning Spanish. Am I perfect? No, but it's my responsibility to learn the language that I live in. It's not their responsibility to learn my language. I'm in their freaking country.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my
So
God. I can tell you about that experience this week.
right, but I
Yeah.
just really want to make a point like this is important. It's important to understand yourself, and it's so important to understand half of the rest of the people who are different than you. So go ahead.
Yeah. So chemistry, here's the deal. When we're doped up with all these brain drugs, we don't think very clearly. We put on rose-colored glasses, everything looks fabulous. And someone could say to us, I mean, a perfect example, one of my clients, she goes, I met this most amazing man. There's only one problem. I go, what's that? She goes, he's a smoker. And I went, oh, because I know that she's like allergic to smoke. And she's like, but he's incredible. And she said, but he said to me that he's going to quit smoking. Like, if we get really serious, he'll quit smoking. So that was cool. And then about a year later, we run into each other again. She says, I'm still with him. And I went, how's it going? She goes, he's still smoking. And I went, how are you? How is that working? She said, well, he says he'll quit. And it's chemistry, it's still there. And chemistry will stick around. There's science around this. It'll stick around until there's something painful that happens. And painful can be emotional or it can be physical. Like, you know, you could be all souped up on just like high as a kite on chemistry and then bang your leg so bad that you're screaming. And guess what? Chemistry's gone. It's gone during those moments. It just disappears because the two brain chemicals compete with each other, causes them all to dissipate. So the research that says chemistry leaves after 2 years is really based on emotional pain. The same neurotransmitter related to physical chemistry or to physical pain is also related to emotional pain, and it does the same thing. So at the 2 year mark, now still smoking, can't do it. My clothes smell like smoke. I'm not breathing well anymore. That's too much pain. It's got to stop, right? But while you're in the chemistry thing, it really feels good. And we just have to be aware if we're in it, even if we're well matched communication style, we might not see other things like cigarette smoking kind of thing. So it's just another thing to be aware of. Okay. Then the last pieces of genetic energetics have to do with what we call modifiers. And modifiers are personality characteristics, much like you'll see in a lot of other typologies, but they are, again, genetically driven. So there's 6 of them. The one that's near and dear to both. Wow, let me get this to work. Oh, near and dear to Amy and I is called the perfectionist modifier. And perfectionists, we're truth seekers. We are. We need to know the truth. We can hardly move forward on anything unless we know what's truth or we have a sense of it. If we don't, it's like, wait, we just can't. But so it's really beautiful. People can ask us, what's your sense of this? And it's a psychic ability to some degree that's very powerful. But for every one of these modifiers, like this sounds really wonderful. The downside is that perfectionists have this I'm not good enough or it's not good enough story going on. And they have the biggest challenges in the world about significance. And so it's painful for us to be in any situation where we don't feel like we can add value.
Mm-hmm.
And hence, if you know a perfectionist, they usually know how to do a lot of things. Why? Because they don't ever want to be stuck not being able to assist or support in any certain situation. So that's how that happened. And you meet them, you go, how many different things have you done in your life? I've had, my daughter asked me this years ago, and I started writing it. I had 31 occupations. 31. It's like, how is that possible? Just,
wow.
it's what I needed to do to feel like I could always contribute. Now, there's kind of the wounded perfectionist, and then there's the healthy perfectionist. And hopefully after a while, perfect is not necessarily need anymore. Near perfect is good enough, right? But there is this piece. It's a sensitivity. So there's a great upside. There's a downside. Next one is the protector, and the protectors, there's this other side of the coin of the perfectionist, where we're looking for truth. Perfectionists are the protectors are looking for what can go wrong. And they're literally standing in the psychic highway looking around 360 degrees looking for what can go wrong. Why? Because they don't want to see pain come to them or anybody they care about. So they're protecting. They're totally protecting. And guess what? It makes them damn stubborn sometimes. Like really stubborn.
Protectors.
Yeah, ask Amy to talk about her kids. Do they have opinions? Do they want to go with
my sons are protectors, and it makes so much sense now that I understand it, because they wouldn't let me talk to a man in the grocery aisle. They're like, why are you talking to him? And I'm like, because he's human and he's here. What is the problem? Now I understand. They're already 7 steps ahead. What if mom likes this guy? What if this guy isn't very good? And la, 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 la. And they're like, nope, you're not going to go there.
Yeah. And they're actually picking up. So they're truly psychic.
Yeah.
They're truly the most psychic people on the planet. And they're picking up things that they know are going to happen. It's different than intuition. Intuition's kind of a gut feeling, right? It's like, I can feel it. Psychic sense is just a knowing. And when I talked to a protector, I got a wonderful chance to meet her boys the other day. And it was like I said that. I said, you guys just know, right? It's just a knowing. And they'd go, yep, just know. They just know. So when they see a man in the supermarket, they don't even have to extend down the road. They just know, wrong guy, mom, right? And it would be a battle if it was strong for them. And she goes, I want to talk to him. They would probably pick her up, one on each arm, carry her out of the grocery store, right? Not very successfully.
All kinds of creative things to run certain humans away.
So the protectors are great because they see potential challenges where their downside, that's their upside. Says, wow, fantastic. I got a psychic person I can call on. What's going to happen here? Seems great, but if they see something that's a real issue and they dig their horns in, and especially two protectors with each other, it's like rams, bam, bam, bam. They just fight, and it's tough. And some partners, some romantic partnerships are like that, and it takes some practice to fix that one or to work around it. Uh, the cool thing is that all they have to do is kind of say, this is my favorite, like, playful thing for them. I say, just say so. And so stands for solution orientation. So if you find out you're a protector, when you run this profile, you're a protector, keep that in mind. All you have to do is think, what's the solution? And in the business world, men who are protectors, this is the statistic, this isn't meant to be, gender specific, but it's just the statistic that we have been the most successful men in business. And they're really great at work, and they see the sky's going to fall, so they have a plan ahead of time, and it's magnificent. But then they come home and they get all emotionally involved. They forget about the solution orientation, and they see their kids or their significant other or whoever doing something, and all of a sudden they lose it. They lose it because they forgot to stay solution oriented. And so that's really important. So perfectionist, protector, there's more on all these, but we just don't have enough time, unfortunately. Now we have, then how much time do we have? What do we got? Fingers.
Sorry, I was telling you 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay. The enroller modifier. This is an important one for women who are listening to this. The enroller modifier is one that's more gender specific than the others. I'm an enroller man, and then there are enroller women. The coolest characteristic about the enroller is that we love to see people succeed. Like if we go to hire someone, we'll look for someone that has great talents because sometimes we'll see more talent than they see. And it excites us because we want to put them in situations where they can just do incredible things. So think New York Philharmonic. I'm hired as the conductor to bring all these people together. And I've got my string instruments, and I've got my percussion and all these different people. I lift the baton to show them what to do. And they just are watching going, yes, this is going to be the best music ever. And it's because they know that that's my intention, is to create that, which is wonderful. And enrollers are very creative, right? But we don't like to do the same thing over and over again. Like, again, if I went back to the Philharmonic and I had to do the same Tchaikovsky every night, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It wouldn't work for me. So we are creative. And this was the piece that captured me in this whole system originally, and the reason why I've had so many different occupations is not just the perfectionist, it's the combination of the two. I create something, as soon as it's created and I implement it, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done. So I need like a back office of people to help me. Enroller women are the most successful women in business because everybody loves working for them and they just get stuff done. They're brilliant creators. And they are, this is the clincher, they're a man in a woman's body. And so the result is, this is the largest population of women over 40 that are single. And it's because they unintentionally emasculate their men. If you've ever listened to Alison Armstrong, she's an enroller woman. Why did she write the Queen's Code? Come on. It was all about emasculation. It was her personal experience. Nothing's going to drive us to learn anything faster than we have a personal experience about people and how they're responding to us. And she did an incredible job, right? Yeah. It's an amazing book. Amazing. Yeah, sorry about this, I got a cold. Worth reading. So women, if you're an enroller, your biggest challenge and your most joyful thing to accomplish, if you can do it, is finding the divine feminine inside you and expressing it. Okay, because you don't need a man. You've never needed a man. You can compete in a man's world and win. But look at it. It feels good to be treated as feminine, to let it out, to let the masculine recognize you, support you, hold you, not just physically, but emotionally. And so you can do it. All right, so there's 3. Then we have another one called the achiever. Achievers, they get shit done. Oh my God. You find an achiever, this is a person that they have something on their list, they get it done, they go to the next thing. What messes up achievers, the downside, is when someone sees someone who's an achiever that's getting everything done, they keep giving them more stuff. Wow, look, you got that done. Here's another thing. Here's another thing. Oh, you want to do this too? And they're going, they don't get a chance to say no. And because they really want to please and they really want to get things completed, and they do. They're not multitaskers. They try and do multiple things at a time. It kind of short circuits them. They love to get things done. So if you're an achiever, you have achiever friends, you probably already keep a list. You may not keep your list in order of importance, and I suggest you do. And then those people you're working with, whether it's your kids or your beloved or at work, you let them know, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is the order. If you have something you need, ask me if I can fit it in. Don't just say, here it is, because a couple of those here it is, and you're off to a different job. Okay.
Wow, that's huge. That's very powerful.
It is huge, and they're most amazing people. I'd like for getting stuff done. Oh, incredible. Then we have engagers. We call this the charisma trait. This is the craziest thing. Engagers have this hypnotic ability they ask someone a question and we just go, what did you ask me? Okay, I'm going to tell you everything you asked. In fact, I'm going to give you more information than I even knew I had to tell you. In fact, I've never told anybody this before. And who are you? Right? They just, it's amazing. Engagers, you'll know you're an engager without even running the profile, because you've had more people in your life say, I've never told anybody this before. And look, all of us have had that experience, but engagers, it's all the time. It's all the time. And there's just something about them. Now, the downside for engagers, we didn't used to think there was one. And then after years and years of working with them, I realized engagers are those people that they're a little introverted a lot of the time. And so imagine an introverted person goes to a party and all these people come up and talk to him, because you come up to an engager, you just want, I need to talk to this person. You don't know why. Everyone likes engagers. Like an engager can do really foul things and people will go, oh, she's very cool. They love them. There's just this energy. And so people come up and talk. And I met this one, she says, I can't be an engager. I just I try to hide in corners and I hide like a wallflower. And I said, does it work for you? She says, no, people still come up and talk to me. And so what they end up doing is they'll segue. You could be at a party with your engager friend and you'll look around and go, where'd you go? And I guarantee you they're hiding in a bathroom or some closet or out on the porch somewhere where they can just get grounded, because everybody and everything comes their way. Wow. A lot of people that are massively empathic also are engagers. And so imagine you put that, an empath and an engager together, and it's like, go to human design and have a reflector and an engager. And it's like, oh, it's a lot. So
1 minute. What's the last one?
1 minute. The last one is the emulator. And the emulator we call the chameleon trait. And this is essentially, we used to say this is a person who didn't have any modifiers. It's not true. You do have a modifier. You have the ability to emulate all these things I just described. And you go, so what's the downside? The downside is because there's not an energetic piece saying you're not good enough, or you should be fearful, or you can only, you can't multitask, or you emasculate men. You don't have any of that. And so you pull up all the magnificence of these other traits and you don't have the downside. There's nothing in the way. There's imagine all the characteristic possibilities of mankind are available to you, and there's nothing in the way. How good is that?
That's amazing. Yeah.
So
very cool. I hate that we're out of time already. It goes so fast. But tell them how they can run their own report. Right here is the 4answers.com. Go there.
So I think you're going to put, is there a link? I know I gave you a link. So
the link is in the show notes. It's too long to put here.
All right. So here's how you do it. All right. You go to the 4 answers. You go to the products tab. And in the products tab, the second thing down is called a personal energetic profile. Click on that. It's going to open a page. It's going to ask you to create an account. You got to do that because this is how we protect your information. You want to be protected, and it'll send you a one-time password. Then go in there and run a profile. Run it on yourself first, for sure. And it's free, so you can go back and run it on your kids, on your parents, on your beloved, on your past boyfriend or girlfriend, on your husband or wife, or just do it and have fun with it, and you get a chance to see it. All that's free. And if you want to go deeper, you can go deeper with our romance reports. You can send a message to me. I will respond. Larry M at the4answers.com. And that's
Amazing.
it. That's how you
Do it. It's fascinating. It uses your birthday and your opposite sex parent's birthday. So it's super easy. It uses astronomy and quantum physics to figure it out. It would be another show to tell you all how that works. But just try it. You'll see how true it is. And I'm a perfectionist, so I seek the truth. So this is real. I've seen it. I've seen it lived out in all the people I've run. Most of the people that I work with and live with on a regular basis, and it's fascinating. I'm surrounded by structural people. It's hilarious to Larry. It is beautiful and challenging for me. So it's.
Can I do this? I just turn sideways and go, yes.
So I'm learning a lot. It's really cool. Thank you, Larry, for being here. I'm going to have you on at the end to ask a very important question, which is, if you're on a mountaintop and you had the whole world's attention and they were actually paying attention, what would you share with the world? What nugget of value would you share? So I'm going to ask you that here in a second, but right now it's time for Mantra Magic. Oops. All right, here we go. It's been a little while, guys. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so Mantra Magic is the part of the show where we, my amazing sister, and she's an emulator, by the way, so she's got all the things. She's magical and also structural, and we do a little mantra for you to rewrite any program that's going on in your head to one of beauty. And this is your mantra for the week. Hello, welcome to Mantra Magic. I'm here with Maria Ishtali, and here is our mantra for the week. As I shift my mentality, I shift my reality. As I shift my mentality, I shift my reality. Life is magic, and so it is. Life is magic, and so it is. As I shift my mentality, I shift my reality. All right, there's your mantra. You can go to Instagram at Amy Joy Coaching, and every Friday I'll post the new mantra of the week. You can go back to the old ones. It's super fun. They get stuck in your head. It helps a lot. All right, it is now time for meditation moment. Beautiful. So I want you to grab the kids, the grandkids, anybody around, have a seat. We're just going to take 5 minutes to get present to this glorious moment where we're not in our messed up past, or we're not in our projected messed up future, where we're just here, right here, right now. It's 5 minutes. I'm going to lead you. It's super easy. We're going to play music from the amazing Gary Malkin. You can find his stuff on Gaia TV, Islands of Inner Peace. He's a genius composer, and he's graciously given us this track to use for a meditation moment. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Stick your tongue out. Let it all hang out. Get rid of the day. Breathe in again. Just sit comfortably. I want you just to notice your breathing. Notice the air coming in and going out the edge of your nose. Now I want you to observe, how are you feeling right now? There's really only two states. To simplify, it's either crappy or happy. Do you feel crappy or do you feel happy? No guilt or shame about it, just notice. Just observe, become aware. Now I want you to observe what thoughts are running in and out of your head. Are they thoughts of the past? Are they thoughts of the future? Or are they more thoughts of right here, right now? Again, don't make it right or wrong, good or bad, just notice. And breathe. Now visualize a candle burning right in front of your eyes. Notice the reds, the yellows, the oranges, the whites, the golds. And slowly slide that candle right into the middle of your head. And watch it flicker there. With your hands on your heart, I want you to think of something that you're so grateful for. And in this expanded space, I'm going to send you an energetic activation. Know that it's sent with so much love. All you have to do is set the intention to receive it. Deep breath in, smiling. Wiggle your hands and your toes. Come back into the room. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for doing that with me. All right, I'm going to bring Larry back. Here he is. There he is. All right, Larry. How's that?
High up here on the mountaintop.
Yes. The whole world is paying attention, and you have one thing you can share with them. A short thing, because we have a minute and a half.
Oh, it'll be short. It's my favorite, my absolute favorite mantra, if you will. And it goes like this: we must stop looking for proof, and instead allow ourselves to be surprised by the truth. Stop looking for proof. Allow ourselves to be surprised by the truth, and you become reunited with the seeker within. That's you. That's all of us. And that's how to do it.
Say it again, please.
We must stop looking for proof and instead allow ourselves to be surprised by the truth. So no matter what it is, we have a tendency to judge, conclude, go point a finger and go, it's that, it's that, it's that. And as soon as we do that, we cut ourselves off from possibility. We depreciate everything around us unintentionally most of the time, when all we have to do is let the seeker out, be curious, and allow the truth to surprise us in the most glorious way. And life is indeed glorious.
It is. It's magical, because we're glorious, and we're glorious and messy, aren't we? We're glorious and messy. That's just the truth. And there's so much magic, so much magic. Well, thank you for bringing the magic today. Go get your own energetic profile, personal energetic profile at the4answers.com. Go to products, go down to the second one called personal profile, energetic profile, and run yours and your friends and your families. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate you. You're amazing. And thank you, those of you watching. So thankful for you. If there's nobody watching, then there would be no point in doing this. So grateful that you're here. And we'll see you next week. Remember that together we vibrate higher. And that, my friends, changes the world. We'll see you next week. Mwah! Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.